As industries move facets of their business to the cloud, how will they manage visibility, control, and peace of mind? Fact is, different industries and different users all have unique problems and requirements and define success using different criteria to determine real value. Greetings, everyone, and welcome from the Technology Association of Georgia. This is Tech Talk, February 3rd, 2014. I'm your host, Frank Baia, and in this edition of Tech Talk, the changing world of e-commerce organizations, media conglomerates, financial service providers, and enterprise organizations. It's about the bottom line impact of fast delivery and reliable user experience across a myriad of devices around the globe. No doubt about it, the widespread adoption of cloud computing has created a new world of increased flexibility and agility, but it is also bringing its own set of new risks. It's a Tech Talk on monitoring the availability and performance of external cloud applications and other mission-critical tasks that in today's digital economy are more important than ever, as we speak with an industry pioneer and entrepreneur with a decade of experience in application performance management, Craig Hyde, co-founder of Rigor. Craig is responsible for product management, marketing, sales, and operations. Prior to starting the company, he was a solutions consultant for CompuWare Gomez, where he designed and implemented application performance solutions for Fortune 100. Before that, he provided Fortune 1000 and government agencies with systems to test and manage their network while with Network Orange. Are you leveraging the web to provide easy access of your products and services to customers? Is 100% uptime mission critical to your web transaction, keeping you up at night? Just how much business are you gaining or maybe losing from a less than superior user experience for your online customers? The Tech Talk turns to the future of refining cutting-edge customer-focused software that enables better end-user experience and just how a powerful software can help companies optimize and operate web and mobile applications from a user point of view, as we speak with founder of Rigor, Craig Hyde. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Craig, welcome to Tech Talk.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk a little bit about application performance management. Obviously, it's been around for a while. You've been pretty busy as far as working with a number of fairly innovative and pioneering organizations, CompuWare Gomez and even Network Orange as it relates to that kind of technology. For some of our listeners who know about it, they'll obviously understand some of the perspective, but let's talk a little bit about to those that may not be aware of exactly how that all works.
Sure. So application performance management, which is our market, is basically a fancy word for we provide tools to help large computer systems work properly. And performance management means both making sure things go fast, so when you use an application online or you use one on your computer, make sure it works fast, and also make sure it works properly. So it's a suite of tools that really help large businesses run their companies more efficiently and keep things up and running. So if you've ever gone to a website and it took too long to load and you hit back on the browser and went to the next result in Google, you've basically bounced from that site, and that website actually loses some customers because their site isn't performing the way it's supposed to. And so what we do as a business is go in there and help fine-tune these applications and websites and things like that to make sure that people don't hit the back button and make sure the experiences are optimal. So it's a big fancy word to make sure that websites are working properly.
Pretty complex dynamic when you put a website into the middle of a cloud, and that website has to do with application downloading or usage of remote technologies from a standpoint of, say, a manufacturer working virtually. I mean, I can imagine the dynamics in terms of, from where it was just a few years ago to heading towards this IoT, this Internet of Things, that your business is becoming more necessary and more dynamic with each passing month.
Yeah, and what's happening actually in the market is kind of interesting because while websites and applications and mobile apps are becoming really easy to build and get out there on the marketplace, what we're finding is they're a lot more complicated behind the scenes. So it does need a little more care and a little bit more analysis to make sure things are working properly, even though the barrier to entry to get them out on the market is really low. Getting them working properly is the hard part.
Eastern philosophers say it's never the solution, it's the implementation. It's you can come up with a quick answer, but getting it implemented and making it work correct is all what it's all about. One of the things that anyone that's involved in the Atlanta technology community, probably the greater community of application performance management, knows that you guys are getting a lot of news, a lot of recognition, especially over the last year. Tell our audience a little bit about some of the things that you've been noted for.
Yeah. We've been definitely making a lot of waves, and it has a lot to do with just tying into the Atlanta technology community. It's been great for us, and it's been great for our business. By connecting with the different organizations like TAG and ATP, which is Atlanta Telecom Professionals, we've been lucky enough to have been nominated a handful of awards. So just in the past year alone, we were named the top 10 most innovative companies by TAG. We won the Best in Show award at the Georgia Technology Summit last year.
Wow.
And we actually were named #1 best small business place to work in Atlanta, in all of Atlanta, by the Atlanta Business Chronicle. So it's definitely helped us as a business perspective to both get our name out there, but it's also kind of feels good to put some trophies on the mantle in here.
Well,
we're excited.
A lot of those, you got several different kinds of audiences that are, if you will, reviewing, if not critiquing. And certainly when you get the kind of recognition you're talking about peers. You're talking about the guys that are in the trenches every day, know and understand what you're up against, what you're trying to do, how well you're trying to do it, and how pleased your customers must be. So the bottom line of it is those are not just recognitions that come lightly. Those are when they come from your peers, you know they're valid and they're deserving. So hats off on that. That's pretty impressive. Well, let's go into a little bit deeper about Rigor as far as you covered pretty much kind of what it does, but do you have a specific target market? I mean, who do you sell to?
Well, our target markets are in a nutshell, what we try and do is we target companies that generate the bulk of their revenues from websites. Our core system works really well with optimizing websites, and if there is revenue coming from those things, then we want to go after that. So right now, our core group that we're going after, so our target market per se, is online media and e-commerce, and we've got some of the largest companies out there on the largest websites out there on the net. So chances are, if you've used the internet recently to check the weather or apply for a job or shop for electronics, your experience has actually been monitored by the Rigor software on the back end.
It's pretty interesting. It's sort of like trying to think of the chemical company that says we're not the product, but we're behind the product that makes it work.
BASF.
BAS, exactly. Well, let's talk a little bit about from a technology and business perspective. It's always a challenge, with everything moving so quickly. We used to say dynamic, and then we said fluid, then we said dynamic fluidity. I jokingly say it's exponential, or maybe it's phantasmagoric. And what I'm saying is things are moving so radically, hybriding on each other. Disruptive is a common term anymore. It's no longer the aberration. It's pretty much the consistent thing. You wake up today to see how things have changed. From your perspective, can you give us a little look into the future? Let's talk a little bit about Rigor, but about technology and the business perspective, say, over the next couple of years. Sure.
Let me tap into the crystal ball and tell you about the future.
Oracle, be the oracle of application performance. Go ahead.
Right. It'd be interesting if you asked me that a few years ago. I don't know if I'd be able to tell you where we are today. It's been a pretty wild ride since just myself and Hubert, our CTO, were just writing code in a closet just a few years ago and just publishing it to nobody. And now we've got a really fast-growing company. We've got about a dozen people on the team.
Wow.
We grew nearly 200% last year, and about the same the year before, and we'll probably do the same this year. And so really the theme for us over the past couple years and for the next couple that are coming up is just growth and really fast growth. So we'll be on the team probably doubling it again this year. and or more, and really we're working to be one of the fastest growing companies in Atlanta. So you'll just be seeing a lot more of us, and we'll be growing. So that's what we really focus on right now.
Well, the secret is find a need and fill it, and not only fill it, but make sure you do a good job and get the kind of recognition. I mean, you've got all of the things that would seem to be the ideal situation for a winner, and obviously it's proving itself out of the performance that you've got. Share with us maybe a little wisdom for a startup or an entrepreneur who's looking to begin to get into the coding business, get into implementing an idea that they might have had, and maybe relate it to what you guys looked at. And I guess where I'm going is you've got a great product, you've got good customers, you've got good employees, but if you had to focus on something first, what would you focus on first?
Wow, there's a lot out there, and there's so many different moving parts in a startup. And we always boil it down to the simplest terms. What we do for a living is we make software that people want to buy. And so once we've figured out the people that we're serving, and then we work on building something that helps them with their day-to-day jobs. So that's kind of what we do for a living, is just build software that helps people. And that's pretty simple once you get into or at least the process is pretty simple once you get into the customer's day-to-day. But what really makes the company is the people in the company. And we've been lucky enough to have some great people, and we really do have the top of the top. For whatever reason, we get a very high number of applicants, and we statistically it's tougher. We're more selective for our hires than Harvard or Stanford is with their admissions. And so as a result, we've been able to really hire great people, and that is what we owe all our success and growth towards. So I would say the number one thing that you can focus on is bringing the right people on board, and just having the wherewithal to serve the customer is the best.
Well, anyone that knows the reputation knows what's happened over the last couple of years, especially the last year or so, and understanding not only the growth but the kind of company you guys have been operating and how it reflects not only on you guys but on the industry in Atlanta in general. It's no doubt why the best of the best are coming to you and wanting to be part of what obviously is a winning team and going to continue to be a winner. Craig, thank you for taking, obviously from a busy schedule, a few minutes to join us today on Tech Talk and tell us a little bit about Rigor.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.